cloud.
Yes. I'm the only one.
All right, the audio thing is bouncing up and down.
There's no video on.
It's funny though.
Well, I turned my camera off because the thing is blinking. I mean, oh, we do have a participant online. Michael. Who's Michael? Do we know Michael?
I have a bunch of Michael.
Okay,
Not the Michael.
all right. Let me, hey, Michael, this is Wayne Kosachik. You're muted, Michael. Michael's not responding. He's muted. He has his video off. So, if you guys don't mind that thing blinking, I guess you can go ahead.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, wait a minute. Found her.
but I can't fix it. And I hope it's recording. I hope it's picking up.
Stop. Wow.
I got perfect. Okay. Okay. Call to order in wetland commission meeting on May 5th at 7:03 p.m. Roll call. Start with Marina,
Jan.
Wayne,
Non-member.
Megan,
Maybe not.
Duncan Clay, Bill, Jed Larson, Eric Johansson, Howard Cromer, Jacobson Associates. All right. So we don't need to seat Bill as a member, correct? Like,
So,
okay.
Four, yeah.
Right. So any additions or changes in order to agenda? No, approval of minutes from last meeting.
But I'd like to go back to item 3,
Okay.
and so I've got 2 proposed changes. One is on approval of the minutes. We did not approve February 3rd minutes last time, so we need to do that tonight.
Right.
And then I would also like to add a new item to the new business timber harvesting.
Just go back and just buy regular number seats, maybe.
Like 4. Cool.
It's is Brad the other? Oh yeah, Brad is
Is it regular number?
Yeah, so we should go.
Oh,
Two,
yeah.
Should do a sit though. We should.
Yeah. We need a motion for that, correct? Okay, so we're gonna see Bill as a commission member for tonight. Yeah, that's good.
So I would make a motion to add the 2 items to the agenda.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
I would suggest you guys speak up because I'm not all that confident on the microphone on that laptop is gonna pick things up for Marina.
You
Jen
second.
motion. Bill second. Bill second.
Oh. Okay, approval of minutes from April 7th regular meeting. Anybody have any comments? I make a motion to approve the minutes from April 7th meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Well, hold on just a minute here, so. As the discussion from the April 7th meeting, the minutes needed to be amended to add a motion. Add a second to the motion. And how it carried, and I think I seconded the motion, and I think it was unanimous.
Did I put it in the minute? To fix the other minutes?
Who was that?
Did I put it in the minutes to
Yeah.
fix the other minutes?
Okay, so it's in there now.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't go back and change the minutes that
No.
got submitted, it just kind
Right.
of carries it, yes, yeah.
Okay. So we should be good?
That should be good.
Okay, cool. Any other comments?
Need to vote.
Yeah, do we need a vote? Do we still need a motion? I made a motion already.
You make the motion, Jan second.
Okay. In favor?
I'll abstain.
Okay. There's no public comment, correct? No public comment, okay, old business.
I think now we need to approve the minutes. That was the February 3rd minutes.
Oh, okay, I thought it was April 7th, okay. I make a motion to approve the April 7th meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
I'll abstain.
Okay, motion passed. Okay, old business permit number 26-2, replacement public road number 00170007. Lake Road over Brook.
Larry, we lost that, we showed it on the screen.
Never know.
Alrighty, my name is Howard Fromer, I'm with Nathan Jacobson Associates, we're the town engineer for Andover, so this is a town project we're presenting. Some of you, I guess, were here last time, what would you like me to do? Do you want me to go right from the beginning, just or summarize kind of what we talked about last time, or hit on the promises of things I said I would change?
Let's discuss the summary of what's going on, then we can discuss things that, we wanted to look at changing.
Okay. This is a DOT state level bridge program project, so this is getting a grant for 50% of the total project cost. You all know where this is? Okay, so the existing pipe is a field vaulted corrugated metal pipe arch. It's about a 14-foot span by 8.5-foot rise. I think I brought pictures, particularly of the downstream face. You can see a lot of damage, deterioration. A lot of cement concrete units make up the parapets and the retaining walls, and a lot of the flanges and webs are gone. We're not really sure what's behind that. The upstream side doesn't look like that at all. The outlet invert is perched, so it doesn't allow for the passage of aquatic organisms. And then roadside barriers don't comply with the current standards, but I guess you could say that about all these days. So the primary purpose for replacing it again is the issue with the downstream headwalls and parapets. This is Bosola Road, Lake Road, Cheney Brook, flowing northerly to Andover Lake. Another colored drawing here of just the grading plan, just to kind of give you a sense for what's proposed. There's almost maybe 300 feet of road work here and stretching up Bosola a little bit. The plan is to replace the barrel with a 28-foot span by about 9-foot rise, three-sided precast concrete rigid frame set on concrete footings that will be cast right on bedrock. You can actually see the bedrock in the channel just below. The stream will be, graded slightly to eliminate that jump, the perch at the outlet, so now aquatic organisms can make their way through. We have 2 riparian shelves proposed within the barrel on both sides of the channel for the passage of terrestrial critters without having to potentially go over the road. Natural stream bottom material. From an erosion sediment control standpoint, there's hay bale and sedimentation fence at the toe of proposed slopes. There's construction entrances. There's controls at the catch basins. There's a pump discharge point. The way we would construct this, they'll be able to sleeve the existing pipe with two smaller pipes. So this is the water handling plan. I'm not sure we touched on this last time. So these are two smaller pipes that will pass through the existing pipe with these sort of super sack sandbag cofferdams to convey the flow into the pipes and out so the contractor can dry the area. The road will be closed, but the channel has to remain open. So that's the purpose of the pipes. The pipes were designed in accordance with the DOT drainage manual for a 2-year storm. And I should say the permanent structure designed for the 100-year storm for the DOT drainage manual. For those of you that ones here, here's a quick look at elevation views of what this will look like. It's the right page. So these are upstream and downstream elevation views. You can get the sense of the rectangular shape of the waterway. The road grade will remain the same. The road width will remain the same, still 30 feet curb to curb. The radius, when you pull out of Pasola and turn to the right, the radius will be enlarged a little bit. There'll be bridge rail complying with the current standards of the DOT and roadside barriers as well beyond that. You can see the natural stream bottom material, the riparian shelf on the left and the right. We talked a little bit last time about, is there going to be riprap? And then, yes, there's going to be riprap. And that's the corners. The corners of the barrel. So right in this area here and here and here, basically from the edge of the ordinary hard water line up to about the 100-year water level. Not beyond that. Beyond that, it'll be vegetated, and there'll be an erosion control blanket that has been established. And there are a number of trees that we planted in here. I think I remember correctly, it's about a total of 32 or 34, if I remember correctly. Couple of things I said I would do last time we were here. I did talk about the small storm drainage system in the road, and the discharge would come through the wall of the frame onto some riprap. And somebody here asked whether that riprap would carry right on down to the bottom of the channel. And I said I'd make that change, but when I got back to the office and looked at the note a little more carefully, it said that carry the riprap right down to the bottom of the channel. So it didn't make a change there, didn't have to. I commented that the in-stream construction window on this set of plans was written before the Corps instituted their nationwide permit in the middle of March, which now for Connecticut basically says you will not work in the river now in the springtime, April, May, or June, nor can you install cofferdams or remove them during that 3-month window. And it used to be that you could. So we changed that note to say April, May, and June. Unless your cofferdam's in, you can't work in the river April, May, and June. So that will apply with the Army Corps. We have been in touch with the Army Corps. They asked us to take a look at the ordinary high water line on here. So we're working through that with them. I'm hoping that that permit will be coming soon. Obviously, we need a permit from this commission. Town determined that we don't need a planning and zoning 824 review or report. Let's see, DEP for water quality certification is granted from them to the Corps. So that's a behind the scenes permit that we didn't have to do anything for. So with all those permits in place and the design finalized, the town, subject to getting the easements they need, would go to construction next year. And I think I said it was about a 5-month construction we were figuring, probably for the latter half of the year. Probably go out to bid later this year or very early next year. Otherwise, it'll be tough to procure the precast. It's a long lead item. And that's the summary. I don't know if I spoke too much.
And I apologize, I wasn't asking, but I may be asking questions, but the DEP fisheries look at these projects or?
Yeah, as part of needing a federal permit, there's certain due diligence things we have to do. One is contact DEP fisheries. 4 different Indian tribes, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Natural Diversity Database, and State Historic Preservation Office. Preservation Office has no problems, no impact historic. Fisheries asked us for the natural stream bottom material, and the time of year restriction that we changed because we got a review from them prior to the nationwide permits being instituted. What else? We didn't hear anything from the tribes, but that is their answer. We rarely hear anything from tribes. In 42 years, I think I've received 1 letter. Yeah. What else? The OPEC site through U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. I want to say it probably identified a couple of bass, another long-eared bat, probably in the, what's the other one? The tricolor bat, I think, and maybe the monarch butterfly. I can't remember if it was not likely to affect. But anyway, all that information gets sent up to the Army Corps, and they've told us that they have final say. So it's sort of in their hands at the moment. What did I forget? Fisheries. Oh, National Diversity Database. Based on the last map we looked at, this project site is not in an area of concern.
That's where we said Hank was not needed, right?
What's that?
We said Hank was not needed, I think, for that. There's a herpetologist, right? We need a herpetologist.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. You asked me about that, and I didn't bring an answer with me tonight. Yeah, let me see. I probably have turtle protection notes on here. I want to say there was a turtle.
I think it was not a concern, right? So for the NDUB, so I think we didn't need Hank for it.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. No, you're correct.
Right.
You're
Let's
correct.
say,
It was-
it is thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah, it was non-area concern, so we didn't get a letter back from him. Right.
Saying, I think it was, so the commission via email wasn't here, so I've been on the downstream end of this work as well as the upstream. And I think this is going to be a significant improvement, from a habitat perspective, at least for the brook and the receiving lake as well. So that's probably why I was asking about fisheries was they already weighed in. But yeah, it's, I think your pictures of the first culvert were probably taking higher flows because my recollection is there during a low flow period is the drop from the culvert bottom to the stream surfaces was substantially higher than in your photos, so it does get pretty bad.
Yeah, and fisheries are always quick to tell us that the American eel can climb it. If there's an eel in the brook, I have eels, but
But
yeah, fish, I guess you can think of it, so.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a decent water depth to the rock right there. It's about 3 feet. The day we took it. So.
You can't worse than that.
yeah, maybe it's just the perspective of the photos, but I was surprised I was doing stream temperature. I've never been down below the bridge before and it's pretty shocked with the condition. So yeah, I do think this is a good project for the town and the resources involved.
Sure.
Is there any concerns about sediment upstream of the bridge being disturbed or, flowing downstream, anything like that?
I think somebody asked a similar question last night.
Yeah, we didn't speak about that.
It's sediment, you mean like beyond the work area or within the work area, but upstream of the bridge?
Within the work area upstream of the bridge.
Yeah, we had some discussion about the riprap. I think I would talk about maybe chinking the riprap, some discussion here about, well, maybe you shouldn't chink it and let it absorb the erosion, the sediment that might come down the banks, which is a good idea. I mean, different commissions in our different towns feel differently. I don't disagree with doing what you guys seem to like to do. Just leave it open and let it fill in if it does.
That was my thought. Yeah, we would open and catch anything before.
Yeah,
Watch the sediment into the.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if this element mode is upstream, just like a big smothering.
Sure.
These things with the large bottom. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, again, we are gonna put blanket on the slopes and then there's riprap literally between the blanketed slope and the channel. So I guess that's a nice barrier to capture sediment if anything comes down.
So your plan is on the slope, you're gonna be putting in vegetation
Right,
versus what's there now.
right. I guess I imagine some weeds, light brush. I've been out there in a while.
Yeah, it's all rock,
Oh, that's right. You mentioned.
chunks of rock, not like this.
Okay,
So it's completely different.
yeah,
It's gonna be. Not just the bridge will be different, that whole area will be different, which would probably be an improvement. Yes, I don't know. Cause it's just all rock right now, so I don't know how much sun you're getting from that.
Wasn't it?
Very steep, and all just rocks, and the water will just run down it mostly.
yeah. I'll take a look at that. Last time I was out there, I don't recall seeing it. I don't know if it's something that's new or maybe just the leaves gone. You can see it now.
Maybe they put it down there, recently, I don't know, but it's. But, you know, with your diagram, where you're showing the green, not that particular one, but you're showing the green there, that's all rock on at least on the right side. Both sides, actually, on the upstream side. That's all boulders, little boulders. Yeah. And that old fence, which, you know, is ridiculous, but that's gonna go. It needs to go.
Fence.
That fence, that's all it is like a little wire fence.
Oh, the guide rail?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna go.
Is there with the new design, not the width over the stream, the width of the roadway as you're kind of looking up and down it? Is there room for pedestrian access on the sides of the two lanes of traffic or?
Keeping it the same width. So I guess if you consider the room now. There was some discussion. I've seen people kind of walk here and then they walk sort of off the road along through here. I guess it's on private property. I'm not sure how that works. Maybe just to escape the road. I suppose they walk behind. There's a bunch of stones in here. But we're keeping the width. No, we're not going to strike a shoulder or maybe.
Is Public Works. Oh, go ahead.
Suppose the town did want to widen the road, is the culvert, is what's gonna be installed, wide enough to accommodate that?
So the parapets and railing are right to the edge of the
So
culvert.
the answer is no.
Well, you have to do something pretty dramatic to cantilever something beyond that.
Right, it's not going to be able to accommodate a wider road sometime in the future
No.
without significant modifications. If the town, I mean, that'd be sort of a question for the town. I'm looking at everything.
I'm assuming they'll probably change the whole plans because.
Yeah, no.
Right?
I just thought I'd ask the question. Unfortunately, when she was talking about pedestrian.
I mean, there are multiple people walking out there, especially in the snow, for crying out loud. At night, no way.
But the town would have to commit and the state would have to commit with them.
Sure. I mean, I've seen some like other projects where they'll actually add the walkway off to the side.
That's what I was thinking.
Could that be added like to the bridge itself? You know, like, let's say they were to, you know, saying this just stupidly, like, you know, screw something into the side and put a walkway on the side of this thing. It would have to be all totally engineered. I think that's what kind of everybody's thinking.
Yeah.
No, just thinking future. I mean, this thing.
Well, no, so am I.
50 years.
Yeah, I mean, decision early on, you know, and not just us, town.
So if the town
Do not. put it-
powers that be said, it's just replace what's there.
It's usually one of the first questions we ask, some very basic questions, you know, a sidewalk, one side, both sides, no sides. And no sides is what we got. I mean, you could cantilever something off the edge, it would be an engineering effort.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but it could be done to this bridge, or would it have to, the whole bridge would have to be knocked down to cantilever something off to the
So you
side?
probably end up having to take the parapets off or
Yeah.
cut them down. It's not necessarily dramatic. I mean, the other possibility, you know, I guess you could, you know, what if you narrowed the road? You know, the road out here and the road out here isn't 30 feet wide. It's just.
Yeah, you don't want to narrow it, trust me. That's my take.
That would be easy enough.
No, okay, yeah.
It was just a thought with
Yeah.
asking if that had been considered and built into this plan. If it hasn't, and it isn't, then that's okay, okay with me.
It's not within the scope of what I'm
It's not in the scope of the project.
Yeah, I was just curious, like, did the town install stop signs on both of these numbers? You just kind of slow traffic to better support pedestrians or?
I went to a whole signal class about 2 weeks ago, and there's all sorts of crazy stuff that you can do to slow traffic down and everything like that, and. The funniest part was one person raised their hand there and they said, what's gonna happen to all this in 3 years when everything's self-driving? So all that goes away.
Everybody gets frustrated because people are actually going to speed limits. Because that happens over each other.
So you don't have to-
Question, so
They got ways.
if the panel doesn't mind, I do have a couple of questions. Okay. Are there catch basins on that bridge? I didn't see,
Not on the existing,
okay,
on the proposed, here,
okay,
here and here, so it's gonna flow from, this is the first one.
yeah,
Second, third, and it's gonna come right through the wall of the frame, which is right
Okay.
here.
is that all RCP stuff?
That's all corrugated polyethylene pipe.
Okay,
And you said you're gonna dump out onto the riparian shelf under the bridge, correct?
Say again.
You said it's gonna dump out, the stormwater's gonna dump out onto the riparian shelf under the bridge.
Right, but there's gonna be riprap
Okay.
underneath that, so it doesn't erode the riparian shelf.
and these are all gonna have sumps and everything, they're not gonna be flat bottom of.
Correct.
Catch basins.
I mean, is it,
2 foot sumps.
yeah, 2 foot unless you want something more.
No, I'm just curious, just.
Yeah.
For cleaning, again, I look at it because we're actually starting to clean the catch basin cleaning crews coming in tomorrow. And we're starting at the lake because I put sand salt out this year and I want to clean the lake first before we hit the rest of the town, so it's just. Something. Being close to a bridge, I didn't know if the sumps were deeper or not, just for my own knowledge.
I mean, no, yeah, we plan DOT standard, but you could ask if you wanted us to.
Yeah, no,
To make that, just this one here is sitting pretty much close to the top of the retaining wall footing, so that's what I'm gonna not make.
Yeah. Okay. Are they gonna have to move wires and everything to do this project
Yeah.
too, like they're doing on Long Hill?
Yeah, I mean, no promises, right? I'm looking at you guys are involved with that resource. We did meet with them out there and, they've got a plan, what they want to do. So it's just a matter of, us driving it, pushing that up and it gets done.
Here's the first step, right? That's the first step
What's that?
to move wires.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a firm believer in get the wires out of the way before the job even goes out to bid. So many clients say, oh, put it out the bid, we'll wait for the permits, we'll wait for the wires. If I was a contractor, I would say, I'm not gonna bid that job, it is. Why waste my time? Sure, make it attractive. Make sure it's all set to go. So that's the plan, get the wires moved this year, before we go out to bid.
Is Basola Road being moved over a little bit, or are we just doing the easement for temporary in order to get by into the Basola?
Yeah, no, that's a good question.
And if you do that easement, are you gonna pave it or just stone it temporary?
Yeah, there is a needs of protection of traffic. We do a detail for it elsewhere, well, actually, here. We are showing a 2-inch depth of asphalt, temporary asphalt.
Okay.
So we're gonna sort of slide the solo over. Presumably the town is in conversation with these various property owners that are affected. That's temporary.
Yeah.
Reasonable.
Again, another reason why I ask is sometimes these projects take longer than they should, the timelines and everything, and if we drag into the winter. I don't want to be driving on, have my guys drive off on non-pavement for the winter time, that's all I was just thinking of.
Oh, yeah, you know, it's, I mean, even the bridge itself, you know, we really want to, and I think contractors, everybody's in agreement with you, want to pave, go through the winter, with their. And then the spring rains come and the thaw on, it's just a mess.
Yes, it is.
And what is the idea? I know there's a lot of factors that need to play into it, but what's the timing of this project?
Probably start construction in June-ish. Again, April, May, June, they can't be in the water and confined, but you know, they need some time to mobilize and get set up for erosion control clearing and be. So probably June, July, August, September, October. I would say probably those 5 months.
So you're thinking by December, the project will be complete?
We're in pretty good shape right now, subject to an internal quality review in our office. The long pole in the tent to me, well, maybe not a wetlands issue, is easements. That's always, and that's one, you know, I'm trying to push on without being a pain to anybody. I just need to know how to back off, or how, why didn't you tell me to get this done? I haven't that feedback yet, so I don't know where I stand. So we're in pretty good shape. Like I said, we're waiting for the Army Corps permit. We did get a communication from them. Like I said, they want me to revise the ordinary water line, which affects the impact areas on the environmental impact plan a little bit. But that's the only thing they asked for, so that's good.
Where's the, like, dump site going to be when they like remove fill and put it off to the side and test it and all that stuff? Or is that gonna be on site, or are they bringing that somewhere else?
That's a good question. You know, first of all, staging in any temporary grounds, I imagine we should be right on the approaches, because the road will be closed. There'll be some, there's a driveway here, I believe, but you know, they can steal some room. They've got a bunch of room in here.
Okay.
They can't really steal much here. And I'm sorry, are you with DPW?
Yeah.
Okay. They'll probably come to you and ask you.
That's why I'm asking. Yeah.
They'll probably ask if you want them.
Yeah.
That's what the contractors do. They love to do that. They don't have to cart it away.
Mhm.
Cart it away. Supposed to dispose of it, leave.
Yes.
That's what the starter's saying.
Okay. I know there's not a lot of room over there, and I just didn't know if they were gonna have to move into another site in order to dump it. If we were gonna have to have a site for them to dump, that's all. Okay.
So all of that.
Okay.
Do you guys want to sidewalk?
Well, I did one.
Yeah. I've been down there too.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I'm okay either way, I just thought the commission should discuss whether or not.
Yeah.
To scope the project.
Couple of questions that you probably know the answer to, Megan, is I remember when we were in a similar situation a year or two ago with no wetlands agent. And you were the chair, just taking over probably. But you had some special qualifications, I think, that allowed us to do business as a commission at that point.
Was it a bigger conversation or related to this?
With that,
This is a bigger conversation. or
well,
related to
so
this?
it surprises me that the town of which we're a part chooses to submit this application at a time when we don't have a wetlands agent. Especially when there's no urgency here, because we're not gonna do it for it's gonna be more than a year before we even start it.
Oh, I was thinking that, so that's,
We'll want to advertise. I mean, I would like to advertise in November of this year.
Yeah.
okay, so when you said.
So,
We'd like
but
to all through.
why we're choosing, you know, this is a fairly significant undertaking, and we're choosing to do it without the benefit of a wetlands agent. I don't know if, you know, and again, I recall you had some qualifications that we voted on and said, okay, we're good to do business. I don't know, I don't recall what that was and where we stand.
Yeah, I don't know if we can. Not operate as a commission just because we don't have a wetlands agent.
I couldn't hear you.
I don't think we can, not do our job as a commission just because we don't have a wetlands agent.
Okay.
I believe that without, in the absence of a wetlands agent, the commission is the wetlands
Yeah,
agent.
the wetlands agent works for the commission and.
But that's certainly not an ideal situation.
It will not be, because the commission can do business.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna report on that later, but hopefully it'll be resolved soon.
Has there been, and again, it's not really wetlands related, so. But just my own curiosity, doing the work in the summer. I understand from a project perspective, from a community impact perspective. That's when the lake has the most traffic. Has there been any discussion of that and kind of the interruption of, you know, traffic around the lake during that kind of peak recreation period?
Yeah, it's pretty typical. Another one of those lines, the same thing, if we go to Rogers Lake when we close the bridge.
Yeah.
You know, in the northeast, we're really sort of pigeonholed into a construction season, you know, when we're shut down.
Yeah.
And there's both environmental and climate restrictions, and then there's sort of temperature restrictions on both materials. And sure, you can pour concrete in the winter, you know, you may have to heat it. And price of fuel and everything else, 24/7, keeping things warm. So, you know, there's the town could say, look, we're gonna build this in the winter because we don't want to disrupt traffic. But there'll be a price tag, and so then it'll be somebody else's decision to decide.
Has there been discussion with either Alma or Alcoa about the project? So, there's two organizations that manage our lake, so the Lake Management Association, Alma, is the owner of the lake bed and the maintainer of the dam, and water quality and kind of the traditional lake management. And then Alcoa, the Lake Andover Lake Property Owners Association, is more the socialization side of things. They manage the beach, and kind of the recreation aspects of the lake.
So, you know, Andover Lake Management Association, each of they own a couple of parcels here, that doesn't it does show on this map. Yeah, we've got. They're in the lake.
They own the lake bed.
Yeah,
But they have other land.
Right, but he's pointed that actually belongs to Alma. There's a piece of chunk of land there. It's a swamp.
Crooked you guys like to look at. Yeah, no, it shows two parcels down there owned by them. So has somebody been in touch with them again? This is the town administrator, or maybe the town attorney. I don't know. I don't. But they need to be contacted because we're looking for temporary easements for them.
Someone on the board of Alma.
Sure.
And I did raise this project, to their awareness, and there's been any substantial discussion yet. I think it would benefit the commission to, on my way in somewhere, to how we do with, dock fund and some other projects that impacts the lake bed before we approve permits.
Is Public Works gonna be doing any site work for this?
Not to my knowledge.
No.
But another question I had was, I'm sure there's gonna need to be some trees taken down. Around that, we do have a tree warden.
Yes.
As well, so he's gonna have to be kind of involved a little bit.
Yes, they definitely involved maybe flagging trees.
Yep.
One of the first questions a contractors can ask, is there a tree warden who is he? It would be preferable,
Yeah.
nice not to have the town involved in the construction, let the contractor do it, just eliminates one more.
Sure.
You know, potential issue, nothing having to do with.
Oh, no, listen, I got my hands involved with everything else.
For us, it just,
I mean, we did, so as you guys know, we removed the trees out at the park. Cause they had to move the wires over in order to get that bridge project. But that's about the extent of that. With that. Too much more, we're not here to. You solve them and drive it, that's it.
so these little circles with the X's are the trees to be.
Yeah.
And then really there's a brush, sort of brush clearing limits. But, you know, right away is, you know, fairly uniform through here, and then these are the easement lines. Primarily temporary, I think there's a permanent right there in the corner.
We do roadside mowing, as you guys know, so we have what they call an open rail mower. Trying to reach over some of these railings and trim some of the brush that grows up over it. But again, that's about the extent of all we do. So.
I think given the scope of the project, I think it's mostly positive impacts to the wetlands and water courses, but nevertheless, I think it's significant impacts. It doesn't sound like it's going before zoning. I'm a little uncomfortable proceeding with the project without greater community involvement, so I would motion that it goes to a public hearing before the permit's approved.
What are the time limits to set a public hearing once a application is submitted? And I agree with you because, you know, we said we were gonna reach out to Hank. I don't know that anybody actually spoke to him. But we did talk about turtles being over there and I thought we were gonna, you know, Hank, what's your take on this? He's our expert on all that stuff. So I sort of agree with you there that
You said you were part of the full committee, you know, what, when this was brought up, what, like,
So it wasn't during a meeting, I just flagged it via email, so it hasn't been discussed online yet. So I can't
yeah,
move respond.
I just was wondering if they had any indication this was happening, or.
I don't really think so.
No,
Yeah. I mean, I know we publicly post things on the website, but
you're right,
realistically, most people are not, you know, scouring everyone's minutes and applications to know what's going on, so.
I do have one more question, if that's okay. Is there gonna be a dry hydrant for the fire department off this bridge or not? Not so.
So like, where do you need the money?
It's a soft motion, but
Yeah, we can,
I'm not sure I did, oh, yeah. Okay, and
yeah.
at least they know what is going on.
What are your guys' thoughts?
I think it's a great idea, and unfortunately. The person we need to talk to is Hank. I mean, public
By doing this, I think was the lane, I think, right?
public hearing on.
No, right?
It's kind of like public hearing, nobody's some open, right? Hearings.
Sure.
But the maintenance, hey, that's that's it, yeah. So,
well, I think that people that live in the area too might have, you know, I love Hank and I'm not discounting Hank's knowledge, it's certainly valuable, but I think he's one of many people in the community that might wanna, in a way, and provide
and
comments to the commission.
also, the person that you want to get the easement from, maybe should be involved in a public hearing. Somebody you could contact, find out who that actually it is that lives there, and that might help you get that going.
The preaching to the choir, as they say. I understand.
Yeah.
They need people in the contact with, just not our stuff.
But that would be public hearing would give them an opportunity, especially if it's posted. And I don't know, do we post it?
By like the movie. The voters, in a sense.
I don't know how that works, to be honest with you.
I would think they should,
Yeah.
but
Like someone you have to actually find. the
Right.
people, tell them there's going to be a public hearing.
You, with the public hearing, you have, do you post that, or would you post it on the bridge?
I don't know where you post that. I know like for zoning or like even tree removal, same thing, you have to post it, then have to post it on the tree 10 days.
What was the date of the application received?
April 7th, I think. Right?
The hearing.
It's a town project, I don't think you have to worry too much about that.
Well, within the regulation, a hearing can't be held later than 65 days after the receipt of such application. Notice of public hearing shall be.
I think we'd have to have the public hearing on June 9th.
Yeah.
Move. Well, actually, so if we had the next meeting on June 2nd, which is when we're scheduled, that's within the 65 days.
And then allows for notice.
If we could, yeah, we just have to get the notification in the newspaper, you know, and we've got time to do that, so.
if we don't have a wetlands agent, I'll make sure all that stuff happens.
I know you don't, and I know you know what all those rules are,
And
and
I don't have no name rules, but I know a lot of procedures.
Yeah.
Similar to what I'm used to now.
all the public hearing, regulations are the same for, the different commissions.
Yeah, it's all state law, they're just saying.
Yeah.
Brings to the second one.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
All in favor?
What is the motion?
To hold a public hearing. On the application,
On June 2nd?
I can add you second,
If there's time.
Okay, yeah, and if we wanted to, we could take action, that same night. Okay,
All those in favor?
I,
15 days to.
Okay, welcome past.
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so that'll be tabled till, I guess, at public discussion.
I guess we should have included that in our discussion. Are you available to present something about this? In September?
I think so. Yes, I would be, yep.
7 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you again.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, so new business. 26-3. Chamberlain's Pond parking lot application of millions. For DPW. That's from the man from Route 6.
Yes and no.
Okay.
The millings on, I did acquire some millings, I didn't care for a lot of them, so I'll use that. I'm gonna use those, but I'm gonna buy some screen millings for the top, so we can actually roll it in better, and it'll bond better, and pound it all out. Sure. The millings that run Route 6 were an experimental, pavement that they put down. See how it turned out, and you all saw it didn't turn out well.
I didn't know that.
Yes, interesting. If you look down Route 6, they probably up and down, and the plows up and down over time. They actually said, there was like little signs that said, it was experimental, from DOT spec XYZ. If you notice too, they didn't mill real deep either, because they only put like an inch of this stuff down on it. I noticed that they're very dry. I noticed we got one load we actually just brought down to our lay down yard, because we just had so many chunks and stuff in it. There's really not much we can do with it. So I'm kind of happy I didn't get about 200 hooks and shot. Sure, for some of the projects I want to do. So again, I'll probably put this on the bottom and then buy a couple loads of screen stuff or on the bottom.
Good night.
All right, good night.
Good night, thank you.
And
you.
roll it.
Yeah.
What are your requirements? So, what are your requirements for your, do you have any idea of the source of those millings?
Nope, they could have came from any project in the city. Again, it could be another experimental, roadway. But if I get a load that looks like garbage, or if it's local, I will go look at it. I'm a very visual guy. I like to put my hand in and try it and stuff like that. Look at the pile and getting it out of, because you can tell if it's screened or not.
So originally this came about, Scott Pearson called me
Yes.
and asked if you guys could dump millings in that lot. And I said we'd have to bring it to the commission first.
What I'd like to do is dig out a little bit, not just dump it on the garbage that's there. My thoughts are, dig it down 8-10 inches, maybe put a layer of stone, put some fabric down so the fines don't come up through it. The stone would act as a little bit of drainage, just for water moving underground. Again, the filter fabric would keep the fines out, and then put the millings on top of that.
when you roll the millings,
Yes,
and you said you use the word bonding,
yes.
does that make it an impervious surface? No, millings will drain, even after roll. Okay, slowly, very slowly. Yeah. But it won't be as very successful.
Yes,
You agree?
yes. It's very slow, yes. What I'd like to do is, I mean, in the perfect world, I'd like to crown it a little bit, so like any water that does hit it will run off to the edge. The problem with millings is it's still a stone-based product. And if you notice down at Veterans Park, there where people come in and when they first drive in, they turn. Well, where the asphalt meets the millings, there's always a hole there because people are constantly turning. So anywhere, I'm gonna use Coventry because I came from there. We put a lot of millings around the lake on some of these dirt roads. And in front of everybody's driveway, there's potholes because everybody turns and goes into their driveway. So that is the problem with the millings. So they have, we can, the ideal time is next month. We do this project, put them in, we pound it in with a roller. The sun beats on it all summer, kind of melts it down a little bit, and it gives it a better bonding surface.
What's the current surface?
That's right. Yeah, it's just dirt, fill, mud. One of the complaints I heard was like the fire department uses that as for a dry hydrant, and that's like one of their main sources they use. So when I first got here, I kind of looked at that and went, well, we got to do something like that because one of these days we're going to use a fire truck there. And that's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
So
the biggest reason I wanted to talk to the commission about it first was because technically speaking, millings can leach.
Yes.
And
It's
being,
very concerning.
being close to the water, that was,
I'm not gonna lie to you, yes, absolutely.
they can leach oil.
Yeah, it's still an oil-based product. It's still, you're gonna go in there, you're gonna get kids that are gonna blow donuts. Let's call it what it is. I mean, they do it down the Bathurst Park, so they're gonna scatter it all over the place. So.
Yeah, I think from a water quality perspective, I had concerns. They are, especially if you don't have the source of them. So it could be, like a gas station parking lot. Like you really just don't know the source.
No, it won't be a gas station parking lot. Usually what happens is the guys that are buying it, they're buying it off are taking them off a project like this. Any gas station parking lots and stuff like that.
Maybe that's.
No, I don't, but I'm saying normally they.
But if not.
Full trans.
Yeah, they associated with, BPPAHs and other, chemical substances. They had concerns about using that material, in such close proximity to water courses without, a way to manage the stormwater off of them, which won't control infiltration, but, at least managing the stormwater. I will say the site, at least several years ago, it came up, I think at the time we were talking crushed stone. So we kind of seem to keep having the same conversation about this parking lot. And I wonder if honestly just paving it isn't, the best solution at this point. And then
Very expensive.
well, what it's doing so cheaper.
Yes, the millings will be cheaper, yes, way cheaper. Just we can repair it easier. Sometimes what I've done in the past, I'm gonna use my previous experience like towns. If you could actually put like hot patch on some of these holes and it'll actually bond to what's there as well. So you can fill in, you can use asphalt for millings.
There's no buffer between, the parking lot. The stream.
So if you guys don't mind, right? Kind of, we drive by it every day, you see it, everybody sees it. The most you ever see in there are maybe 4 cars. And that's a big enough area. Can it be shrunk?
Mhm.
So that it only allow parking for, say, 6 cars? And
That's a good idea.
then now you have room for your buffer.
Yeah, gravity. Oh, absolutely, yeah, that's.
We put some,
I would, so my plan wasn't going all the way to the end by any.
so right now, it does go all the way.
Yeah, just as like.
Oh, I know what I'm saying with the millings, I wasn't gonna go all the way to the end. There was gonna be definitely a buffer zone. another thing I was just, spitballing with my crew leader, Zach, maybe we take, because we have a bunch of rocks down our laydown yard, maybe we could put a bunch of rocks there so nobody they have to stop at that. To put up, to put a railing up, now you're talking money, but we could put rocks up there, maybe throw some little bit of dirt down, get some grass growing, just.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And it would definitely, what's the word, beautify.
Yes.
To just allow six cars, have some sort of curve, whatever, however you, I'm not talking about an asphalt curve or anything, but some border. And some topsoil and get some grass growing in here.
Well, so I'm saying, we can take, like, you see it on the rail trail, there's like bigger rocks and they're placed in there where cars can't go.
Yeah.
And they're free.
I'm sure you're creative with clever enough to. Come up with some.
Was there a drawing associated with this project? I looked online and all I saw was the application.
Yeah, not yet, because I wanted to see what your guys' take was before we get. Because if you guys didn't approve it, no offense, why am I gonna go through all this property? Or my next step is I gotta get a ROW from the state as well. That's my next, there is an apron out there. They did pave an apron on that piece, which is good. But again, we're still crossing their right of way, so we're gonna need a ROW for that.
Like I think if we're talking about putting process down, like I would personally be all for it, it's stone. I think it's the only difference because of millings.
Yeah, no, again, it's whatever the process is, more money though, I will say that.
It is.
And it's, I just bought 2 triaxles last week and it was $1,000. And that's gonna take multiple triaxles in here to get to where we need to go. It's not just throw it in there, grade it out, because if we do that, and within a year, you're gonna have all that garbage come up, even if we put
I think that's what, I think it was stone dust or something. 10.3 years back.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't-
again, if you don't dig it out and put a good base in there, it's just gonna go right back to what it is. And we can put all the fabric down if we want, and maybe you're only putting ain't much.
Yeah, I think if there's a way to work with the fire department to make sure that it's not taking away their access or the emergency needs, but to then. Yeah, kind of reduce the parking lot area and provide a greater buffer on. I don't know what cardinal direction it is, just pulling into the lot, but straight ahead to the right. Yeah, I think that would mitigate potentially the concerns about the material type if we did proceed with millings. Because you'd be providing more of a vegetative buffer to filter that.
Just as a side note, again, go back to Coventry, we put miles of millings out on all the dirt roads down around the lake. And we've never had too much problems leaching into the catch basin and stuff like that. Because once it,
Water quality testing to confirm.
I did not, but I've sucked out enough basins down there, when
Yeah.
you know there's 2 feet of millings in there, it's, yeah. So. You can tell what's migrating in there, you know. We use them on certain dirt roads that had nasty hills on them, and we got away from that and paved it because they got the same thing. You get a heavy rain on the hill, it would just wash rolling right down to the bottom, right back to where you were. I didn't care how hard you packed them in, it just did not happen. So we gravitated away from that and just would use them on flat surfaces. Roads are starting, most of the roads down there are now all paved. But prior to that, any entrances to like other roads that they were paved, we would do aprons and everything like that and just run them straight like that.
So is that parking lot like sinking? Is that what's going on? Or do you think
It's just everybody going in there, just turning and just, it's garbage material in there, it doesn't drain, it just.
is it clay?
I think it's just fill. I think over the years, they just said, oh, so we need a little more parking area, and they filled it and filled it and filled it.
Oh,
I think it's over.
Material.
It may not even been the town, it could have been the state. The state could have been, at some point messing with 316 back 60 years ago, what have you, and said, oh, we need an area for the contractor, and they made, oh, look, here's an area. The town will do, we don't have to pay anybody. So they went in there and they made a lay down area and they just kind of pushed it around and left, and people started migrating to it. plenty of spots like that around the state. And you'd be amazed, you'd be like, how the heck did that happen? Go back and they look and go. That's why I was asking them about where, for the solar road project, because if they make a laydown area, and they don't take all that out of there, people are gonna start parking in there, they're gonna start walking down, so.
You guys in favor of that? Drinking the parking lot and making vegetative buffer?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, the rocks. Rocks, as long as the rocks are not impeding the fire department.
Yeah, oh, no, we wouldn't put it, we would make it so it's. We would protect the dry hydrant, so if somebody did do something.
You guys in favor of, I don't know, just 50-foot buffer vegetation? Or you want harder than that?
Distance.
Well, I think it would be nice to figure out,
Do we have 50 feet there? I don't
I
know.
don't think you have 50 feet.
No, no.
Again, I really haven't walked it, and
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't have more information, just because I wanted to get your guys' thoughts before I really got into this.
We just threw it out. You know, I thought,
Sure.
Why don't we just do something to square it up,
Yeah.
make it look nice and neat, so cars come in, park head in, or.
I think it's a good idea.
And then, you know, you'll need some. Whatever to the driveway, hydrant, border there, but that's no problem.
Yeah, so
You're right.
it won't be square of kind of the, one corner or somewhat.
And then your idea of just, we got plenty of rocks in town, your idea is just take.
Yep.
Yes, big rocks that people can't move.
And if we have to get in there, we have the capability of moving around, so that's, because we're putting it there, so something. For whatever reason, we do have to get in there, but they can be moved easily. A lot of towns do this, and I think it looks horrible. They take old telephone poles and and that's gaudy, and I mean, yeah, I'll fight the guys, that's something going. Yeah.
Could you prepare to get just a, rough drawing for the
Yes.
commission to look at?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
That would be.
Okay. No problem. Jay, did you have a comment?
well, I guess the detailed comment, so if. I know we've got an application with no drawing, but the receipt date, currently listed as 4/22. It best would be 5/7, wouldn't it? Isn't it the date of the meeting?
Yeah, I think the date that the commission receives it at the time.
So that would be, 5/5, because, we listed the max action date on there as 5/27, which,
I put the, I don't know.
yeah, which I think we've got, we can't, the minimum date would be 2 weeks after today.
Yeah.
Is
But,
that enough time for you to
but,
put something together?
I can try, yes.
No, I just,
Yeah.
be realistic.
Was there a rush on the project or do you have time? So
I mean, I can do it in between stuff, it's not a big deal, this isn't, I mean, people are still parking there, this isn't a, this has to be done tomorrow, otherwise, we're gonna lose this one.
This is a town project, it's not like,
Yes,
it's gonna come back to the commission and say, oh, you didn't act in time, that means it's automatically approved,
yeah, right.
right?
but,
it shouldn't. No. It's at the state level, but
no, I'm just trying to visualize, why would Chamberlain Pond be any different than the parking lots we have, like on Lake Road for the rail trail? You come off the road in your parking, you don't have to go way back all the way over to the
Yeah.
line, you can cut that way back maybe,
Well, you
It's
do
still-
wanna go a little further in, don't forget. Over on Lake Road, you don't have as much traffic as you do on 316, there's a nasty
Yeah,
corner
okay.
there you can't see, so you're not gonna run.
Okay,
Back
right,
out.
good, yeah, you want to have back out, so you
Yeah.
pull out, not backing out of the road. But there's quite a depth to that parking lot right
Yes.
now, and maybe you can cut it in half almost, but, yeah.
it's definitely expanded over the years because there is nothing constraining it.
But I think, when do you ever see more than 4 cars here? No,
Source vehicles.
Yeah, right.
Utility.
I mean, I've seen the state DOT trucks sitting there when it's out.
Yeah.
So it's,
wait for the snow.
yeah, pretty much, yes, but
Yeah, no.
You occasionally see somebody in there who's just parked there to, like, eat a sandwich or.
Yeah. There is a picnic table in there. right?
Let's go keeps it for fishing training. I see people in there fishing occasionally. People do use it. The trail, it's very overgrown. That goes around.
That's the first seed trail or.
It's part of it, like when it's cut, it does connect to the network behind the school, but it grows up pretty quickly, so it really needs to be like heavily cleared during the growing season for it to maintain, to be able to be used.
Okay. Yeah, my wife and I parked there and learned how to ice skating on the pond.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, all the time.
people definitely use it, it's not, and I think if it, honestly looked a little nicer, people might use it more.
Or,
It's for the rocks and the grass, if we do something like that. Yeah, so,
We put a nice sign up. Chamber of,
What was it? There may have been.
Well, if you're gonna have a nice parking space.
Well, there is
you
like
can
a-
now put a nice sign.
is it like a flower pot or something?
Yeah, it's a flower.
That's on the right,
Yeah.
on the right side there?
Some of those.
I think that'd be-
Flower pots today.
Yeah. But there's not much in it, right?
but you're right, there is a pot.
There's something in there.
Yeah,
I think it's perfect.
Yes.
But regardless, yeah. Do I need a motion to table this till we get a drawing?
I don't think so. I think so. Just continue, we're,
Yeah.
we gave Eric some information. He's gonna come back. We'll talk about it some more.
Yeah,
Here.
Yes, we'll table this until we can get some photos and some idea and kind of a sketch of, where rocks and maybe say roughly 50-foot buffer around the water's edge.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah. Cool. Like I said, I just wanted to run it by you guys before I dove deep into this and have all this information. You have like. Sure, need to be here.
Thank you for your comments.
Yeah.
Everything.
Thank you. Okay.
Are you guys, oh, sorry, I mean,
No, you're good.
are you still on board with doing the millions? With the
Yeah,
buffer?
if you had the buffer.
If we had a buffer.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay, I just wanna be sure, okay.
Are you guys in favor of that?
Not smart enough to know one way or the other. I
think
when
long
when I
term,
looked at that, I
long-
said, millings are great, but you got some great points about, the oil base and that together out. Eric provided back, never seen it happen, but then he gets slow. I think it's the road.
Well, we're gonna wanna slope it anyways, we're gonna try not to have, ponding in there.
Can you slope
heck,
it?
Yeah, let's say, look at the other.
I'd have, in a perfect world, I'd say yes, but I'd have to get out there and stick it to see which way everything's going.
Yeah.
So maybe for the next meeting, could we come up with a drawing and some photos?
Yep.
And then see if we can slope it back towards the road and south towards the swale?
Are we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, because I know there's a swale there, maybe we pitch it towards the swale, towards stormwater control,
Yeah.
rather than towards the body water.
If we do that, we may have to throw like a little bit of riprap in there or something, because if we get, everybody talks about this 100-year flood. If all of a sudden it's still kind of grainy or something, that it just goes right that way, at least we can kind of. At least we show we try to mitigate it or emulate it.
The riprap, buffer, yeah, yep, okay. All right, so we'll table that until the next meeting, June 2nd.
I should check that I'm available in June 2nd, not that I advocate for a public hearing, but I am. That would be very nice to everyone.
Any other discussion, agent enforcement actions, when you didn't have anything?
Well, I wanted to go, I had my item on the,
You, okay, no,
Or votes and reversing it.
yes, that's right.
and I just wanted to, I think Wayne sent out to everybody within the last day or so, some information from the state forestry folks that I happened to get from Scott Brisson, and I thought it was very good. Every time somebody comes to us and says, I want to go harvest trees, they argue that Andover is the only place that makes them go get a permit. And, that's probably not true, but that's what we hear from them every time they come in. And when I looked at, so there's some good information in the email on it. we had talked, when we were coming up to the plan of conservation and development, one of the things Conservation Commission wanted was us to have a timber harvest notification form for anything that gets done. I looked at this thing and I said, wow, that's got a lot of detail on it. That's probably cumbersome for the guy to do. Of course, he ain't gonna want to do it, but we get a good record of what's going on. And then they had this crusty little flow chart that as I looked through there, it kind of shows, I thought it reflected what we always do.
Yeah.
And so, if we're using the state stuff and somebody says, how come you guys want us to do all this? We're just using the state stuff.
Oh, and I wouldn't worry about that feedback that we're the only town, because if they truly felt we were out of line, they could bring it to the state and the state could tell them that we're not properly enforcing the regulations, so the fact that they haven't done this once.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's probably true too, but they certainly, this would formalize based on what the state's provided, what we expect, and it makes it very easy, so. We don't have to take any action on tonight, wait till we get a wetlands agent. But I would think that that would be something that would be to our benefit to use.
I just wanted to clarify when you said because we would only look at applications that have a waterborne or wetlands impact or potential. Did they want that for all timber, the Conservation Commission for all timber?
They did.
So who, we wouldn't be able to oversee that, I guess it's not, for all harvesting in town.
I think, the wetlands agent would be the guy, and the thought was people come in and want to harvest and they don't really know whether they got wetlands or not. And so if we force them to come in and have the conversation, then the wetlands agent can look on whatever research, however he wants to do, and say, okay, yep, you don't have anything there, but there's enough information on this that, I think allows the wetlands agent to make a determination of what his knowledge is of the area is. So the Conservation Commission's thought is we need to put those measures into place ahead of time such that when we actually get the guy at a meeting, we're not throwing him under the bus and making him unhappy. He knows ahead of time, he comes, gives us everything, and then it should be a pretty smooth for us, because we made him give us the information we need so that we can make the determination. Looking like that.
We can require them, we can request, but I don't know if we can truly require materials from a harvest that really doesn't plan to operate in the upland review area or within the wetlands.
Not smart enough to answer that, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I'm certainly not the wetlands, because it wouldn't have any wetlands.
But how do you know?
That's the thing.
Until it's reviewed.
I think a lot of times,
This is the good arguments.
this is a watershed area. Just about everywhere you go, it's water.
Water.
Yeah.
And is it a marsh, is it a wetlands, is it a stream, is it a pond, is it a kettle pond, whatever. And if you're harvesting 400 acres of trees, there's bound to be some water down there somewhere. And if they don't know, I mean, I know I've been on this commission now about 5 years. I think I've done two site walks on timber harvest. Two.
Yeah, the one that were clearing 40 acres or whatever for firewood.
Right.
The Boston Mill, I think.
We had water over that piece of land. I mean, springs, kettle ponds. He goes, no, we don't have any
Yeah.
marshes.
That's what it's always here. We don't have
They almost got us where to go. And it's like, finally, the nice lady, she goes, oh, go ahead, come on out and go take a look. It was almost like she was just being nice to us, to let us go. And then we go there, and there's a kettle pond right next to the road.
Yeah.
Like, right on.
there's pools and all that kind of stuff.
Right, I mean, and it's like, no, we don't have any water.
So it just forces a guy who's gonna do a harvest, come in, talk to the wetlands agent.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
Yeah,
And then at least we could keep the trees around the kettle pond from getting cut down.
Now, the other question is, now, I don't know, maybe I'm confused on this. Even if there's wetlands on the property and they want to do timber harvest. I remember Joe was explaining that. Hanover's a right to timber harvest town.
Right, that's true.
So how does that work now if the trees are in wetlands and they still want to timber harvest?
So it's more about the process, so. if
Oh, how they,
Yeah, like if they're driving through wetlands and they're not doing anything to kind of mitigate the impacts of.
Yeah, but those
Yeah.
the one
That's-
at Boston, no, they put.
they had to go around,
Yeah.
you know, okay.
Right.
Yeah, I think we've done 3 or 4 of these over the last bunch of years, but there's a lot of times where you talk to the guy about avoiding his wetland area, and, okay, we can,
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm sure.
Okay.
But he comes in, present his plan, and we, start, he feels like we're attacking him, and, that doesn't go very well.
Yeah, okay, that's what you're saying.
The other, what was, the other timber harvest I went on. Was the first time that that land had been looked at in 40 years, the previous timber harvest. And the big boards, I forget the name, what we call those, the ones that you put in the stream.
Yeah, yeah.
Corduroy.
Yeah, it was still there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think we should be looking into the timber harvests. And not just assuming, oh yeah, there's no water on that property, it's like, sure.
So that should be an agent thing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Everything?
think it's applications review and the agent determines that, there is. You choose.
Cause I think that, what is it, Yeoman's, or it was in a Boston Hill where we all walked at the time, I think Joe flagged a bunch of areas, right? Similar to what-
Yes, yeah, stay out of here, yeah.
Okay.
Don't cut the trees around there.
But I think in their mind, no issue, they were just gonna open the trees.
Yeah.
Until,
Yeah.
right,
That's what,
until we talk about it.
Actually, me and Joe walked the property.
Oh, yeah?
Up of 316, two exact same thing, one to harvest timber. We both walked the property. Joe, stay out of here, so, stuff like that, don't bring heavy equipment through here, stuff like that. So,
Okay. Makes sense.
so yeah, I thought it was a good idea.
Sure.
Really good idea.
We need a motion on something like that? Or is it
I don't
just
think so.
discussion?
Yeah, we just,
Just a discussion.
no, I would think you would just direct the wetlands agent to use the.
Sure, yeah, okay.
And you think we're gonna, wetland agents.
Well, I was.
Real quick, Jen, would that state form need to be modified for town use or you?
It's easy enough, but put our own. I mean, enough to take that form.
Well, I'm just wondering, is it something that we want to post to the, the website now, or?
well, I guess I'd like to hear from Wayne, when he talks about how we're coming on, getting some help,
Yeah,
in the wetlands agent world.
I'm waiting for the agenda.
Okay.
You're stickler for the agenda.
Yeah, okay, that's good, that's good. But I just was hoping that everybody else would think it's a good idea too, and that we'll work with whatever we wetlands agent.
I'm not familiar with the wet people. If someone wants to cut their trees down, do they have to come? To
It's a gray area.
the town and ask permission to cut their trees?
I think if, the A trees, it's like, no, but if you're starting.
You have a
like,
property rights guy, so.
Yeah, timber and everything falls under agriculture, so there are
I'm
some rights.
former Department of Agriculture and,
Well, and you know,
You-
yeah,
I think the risk you run is you don't come to the wetlands agent,
right.
you get started, and then we go out and just stop them. And that is a tremendous cost to the property.
Right, but is there any formal requirement, like a regulation that says, if you are gonna conduct timber harvest, thou shalt fill out this form and have it reviewed by the. Or is there a state law for that? I'm not familiar enough. with it.
Yeah.
We get involved. I've done like the agenda.
Used green or something, it's kind of. Optional until they do actually.
And then at what point do you trigger this form? I mean, if you're just gonna go cut some firewood in the woods behind the house. Or,
I see what you're saying, so they're like
or what?
bridge or something.
No, well, yeah, a bridge or Yeah, the amount of the volume of stuff you're cutting. I know you did Wheeling Road too.
They use the term endorsed in this email a lot. Endorsed the previously utilized timber form. You will find text this document. Please note this form has been cross-endorsed by Connecticut Forest and Park Association, Connecticut Farm Bureau, and the Connecticut Professional Timber Producers Association. So, you know, they're all in favor of it. I'm in favor of it.
I would think it's an easy thing,
Yeah.
It should be done. If it isn't being done, let's go with that.
So is that form intended for towns to use, or is it being used for another purpose?
No, it's intended for town.
Is that the controls game?
Yeah.
Yeah, cause it said.
As a flow chart.
It's a model form the state put out.
Yeah.
It just said Adams, Lime, Ken, Lime, Stafford, Wilmington. Right on it.
They're all used.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Wheeling Road because that was actually when we were trying to talk to the arborist there. As soon as we said, "Oh, you're gonna need we need a permit."
Since we were gonna do a permit.
Yeah, so it's like that's going to be a permit. We're gonna need a permit. But just now, I'm not involved in that. And he just released himself from the meeting. And that was
Permits were pulled for. To my knowledge, there are permits in place. Because they put the landings down.
Oh, jurisdictional, that's what we were talking about. Did we have jurisdiction over the timber harvest? And it's, when we talked about it, we came to the conclusion, yes, we did have jurisdiction over
We
this.
obviously have jurisdiction, somebody's working in wetlands or you know, you.
Yeah, right. But that was the end of the conversation. We said, yes, we do have jurisdiction.
We were all kind of surprised. You just got
You
to
just
shut
it
We were
off.
ready to, you know, there were easy paths around it to avoid wetland. We just didn't want to hear
But did he do the
Hey, it
project?
sounds like you must have come back.
Did he not do the project, or?
it.
No,
We never heard, he never came back to get the
He
permit.
did, he did, right?
Yeah, so we must have.
There's still up and work.
No, but we never approved a permit for him.
He decided that we didn't have jurisdiction over you, I guess.
Because
I don't know.
NRCS drew up the plans for the landings, stuff like that.
Okay, maybe we're, you know, I'm not even.
I think it was,
sure we're talking.
I think it was the commission and he didn't want anything to do with it. I guess probably Joe must have taken care of
He
it.
put the stone in, it's all there.
Yeah.
Looks like a mess, but it's there. Remember, I'm
So you're not going to vision?
We're waiting to hear.
Are we on that? Vision?
Yeah. Is there any further discussion on anything for tonight?
Any further discussion on anything? I'll go one more, just for everybody's information here. At the last planning and zoning meeting, there was a group that came to talk about Lindholm Corners, Rosewood Acres down here, and they're trying to put in 86 townhomes in there,
86?
which would be a lot of housing coming into Andover. And,
well, it's not the only one we heard.
no,
And
yeah,
where
it's
is
like that the corner of 87 and Route 6.
Oh, that's what you could see from over
Oh.
here. You could see if you look down through the woods. Right?
No,
Is that clear?
no.
It's like a dead end road, right? You go,
If you go to Route 87
Yeah.
and Route 6, headed towards Willimantic, it's gonna be on the right-hand side, just past Route 87.
where the stop.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
where that guy used to have the smoke shop?
No, that's
Up there.
yeah, that's further down the road. That's by Bunker Hill or one of those roads down there that goes off. But this is a 56-acre parcel in I think it sounds like a pretty good idea. You know, somebody asked him if you been out there to look and see if there's any wetlands. And he said, nope. And he said, you know, I think it was Scott Person, and he's very familiar with the property. And he said, well, you probably need to get somebody out there to take a look. And
And they can, I mean, if there are, they can propose mitigation elsewhere in town. It's not a deal breaker.
right. Yeah, but we should expect at some point,
Yeah.
hopefully, we'll get a chance to hear from him because it sounded like he was eager to go forward with the project.
I recall I was on economic development for a little bit. I think that was a lot of parcels that we were working hard to try and get someone interested in. We do have a need for.
Yes.
Property owners are interested in getting something interesting.
Yeah.
And at the same time, he was gonna put a little, 3-shop commercial thing right off on Route 6 over that way too, so it looked like that might be a pretty good thing for the town.
Okay.
Might be nice.
I actually can add something to that thing here. One of the proponents, one of the individuals proposing, or they're just kicking tires right now, but there's no firm proposals or anything like that. Anyway, they were in the office and picking my brain and stuff like that, and one of the things I did was, that property was the subject of a subdivision. So there are maps that show wetlands and stuff like that. So I did, let him, I did show that stuff to the proponent, and point out that there are a significant amount of wetlands on that property per the subdivision maps. And how do I put this? I didn't get the warm fuzzies. So, I don't know where this is going. There's an option or something like that. His timeline is very rushed. And they have to make a decision soon whether they're going to purchase the property in order to have the property to propose this development. I think I'll just leave it at that, but I have provided them with as much information as we have on that property.
Okay. That's all I got.
So, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
No, you're going to report it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
So there's, commissions, I guess it's wetlandization. Well, I'm waiting for subject, I'm the zoning agent. But. I guess, in the absence of clear direction, we posted the job opening, the job opening closes this Friday. I can report that we do have an applicant. I'm not gonna discuss the applicant or anything like that, that would be inappropriate, but we do have an applicant that, may be desirable to the patient.
Where was the job?
Was posted on the website. It was posted, it was a legal notice. It was posted to the planning, zoning, wetlands listserv that UConn runs. And well, those are the 3 places I was posted to.
If I can find it, I can send it out to some of the people.
Yeah, well, it's on the town's website.
Yeah.
If you want to create like a button, get it out to somebody. Yeah.
It's in the River East.
It was in the River East.
Yeah.
Frustration. It's I don't know.
And our town planner, did contribute to the job search. Or, applicant search, I'm sorry, the applicant search. So that's really what I have to report. There is, from my perspective, light at the end of this funnel. I've been trying to just kind of keep things moving as best I can, and thankfully there hasn't been a whole lot to keep moving in the wetlands area. Well, like I told Duncan in the interest of full disclosure, I have looked at site plans that didn't have wetlands on them. So, yeah, I didn't identify any wetlands. So, okay. Just to keep moving. You know, for big like sheds and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, 'cause I think that's what Joe was doing, as long as he didn't see what
yeah,
interference, then.
yeah, I mean, I usually was in the office and I picked up what I could from him. But something like this, I'm not coming,
Yeah,
this other project, it's,
sure.
I'll have enough to do on the zoning side with the 86.
Yeah.
If that comes to being. And then there was the other pre-application, we ate the garden apartments. What was the name, Janice?
Jessica,
Jessica, yeah, Jessica, she was in, she is thinking about adding another unit. 32 apartments in that unit. So, that's gonna be for you guys, that's gonna be a challenge for P and Z too. So,
Where is it?
off of, either Wales or Shire, I don't know which one. There's just driveways in from both. Yeah,
it's like Kingsley Road.
It Kingsley goes back, but the Kingsley Road doesn't go all the way through, stops. It's not a town, it's, the town doesn't maintain those. Oh, God, she's got two. She has. Altogether up there's probably 5 or 6. Five or six, like 12 unit buildings already. They're all single, they're all one bedroom. And that's what she proposed. They were, of course, they were built in the 60s, so with today's standards. So. There's gonna be some significant challenges to overcome. In my mind. I think Jay would agree.
Well, the only way, they will have to come in under the state statute 830G, which bypasses the zoning regulations if you have.
They still have to do an application, zoning still gets to weigh in.
They do.
And then, if they don't like the zoning, so they can.
Take it to court. You've seen a lot of that in the newspaper anyhow, like,
Oh, so they do have to go to court at that point, they can't just.
Yeah, that's what 830G is all about. If zoning doesn't come through with a health or safety concern, they can appeal the zoning decision.
Which is better, my agreement.
No, it's not automatic.
but it does give you a way around the town zoning regulations.
Yeah.
And she's got some nice apartments out there now, certainly, most people don't even know they exist out there.
Yeah.
It's,
But I don't think it gives them carte blanche to say, oh, he's going, they're out of it.
But while there'd be some challenges, I think it'd be good for the town too, get support.
It's just if we have the affordable component to it, then
Yeah.
It can be approved.
Yeah.
By a court or.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it. I just want to let you guys know that.
Thanks.
Please comply with the.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, it's good to see you.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Awesome.
Second, 8:35 on. Thanks for giving me.